What's up, world? It's Ahmad with Movement Up, where we build, we help, and we impact, man, for the glory of God and for the good of those we serve, man. Man, I'm back, man. We already know all summer been trying to help educators maximize and benefit from their breaks. We've been talking about rest, we've been talking about refueling, and this series of videos is about reflection, reflecting, and how important that is. And then we're gonna close it out with retooling and refocusing at the last few videos, so that by the time the school year kicks in, whether it's kind of the end of August for you, depending on where you're at, or whether it's September, that you'll be ready to lock in and enter in, refocus, and ready to do your thing and impact and influence students and educate them in a way that helps them build a better lives for themselves, their families, their communities, and the worlds in which they live, man. And you are an important and vital part of that, man. So today we on day 2 of talking about reflect, the third R in the 5R framework. And today we're talking about, and I want to encourage you and challenge you to reflect on your wins and own them. Reflect on your wins and own them. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about your wins. We don't reflect just to fix things. Let me say this, man. When I'm talking about reflection, there are some of you, and you may be able to relate to this, there are some of you that are hypercritical of yourselves. Like, you spend more time thinking about what you did wrong, and you find it extremely difficult to see what you did right. Some of you beat yourself up more than the devil would. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just being honest, because I used to be at that space, man, and I feel that, you know what I'm saying? And so I want to wipe away that space. So when we reflect, what we're doing on this piece right here is we are reflecting on wins. We are reflecting on wins, and I want you to own them. See, what reflection does is reflection helps us to see clearly. And that includes celebrating what went well. Reflection helps us to see clearly. And what that includes is celebrating and seeing clearly what went well. So these are some things I want you to think about. You may be other wins that you reflect on or think about as you're journaling or writing this down. But here's a few things to get you started, a few prompts to get you started, shall I say. Think about the past school year. First thing I want you to think about, what was a breakthrough moment that you had with a student last year? What was a breakthrough moment that you've been working with a student, or you trying to teach them something and you trying to help them crack the code on what they're understanding? Or maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was something they were going through in sports, or a self-esteem issue, whatever it was. What was a breakthrough moment that you had with a student last academic year? Next question. What was a conversation that you had with a colleague that grew your trust? Maybe it's a conversation you had in the break room, conversation you had while you guys were on a lunch break, or maybe you guys went to hang out after school, after work sometime, and just connected. What was a conversation that you had with a colleague that grew trust? Think about that. Next question. What was a step forward that you made with your time management, with your health, or with your boundaries last academic year? What was a step forward? What was some progress you made in your time management, in your health, and in your boundaries last year? Some of you made some changes, and you have not had enough time to reflect upon the impact of those changes, but you felt them. You know what I'm saying? So, last question. A moment last academic year where you chose courage over comfort. See, a lot of times, many of us, we would rather just sit quiet instead of having a difficult conversation. We would rather sit quiet instead of confronting something that may need to be confronted, whether that's with a student, whether it's with a colleague, whether it's with a supervisor, or whether it's with a supervisee. You know what I'm saying? What was a moment last year that you chose to be courageous instead of chose to be comfortable? That's a win to celebrate. So what I need you to do is to write it down, whichever format, journaling, note taking, or whatever, name it and own it. And don't just ask what went well. Ask, what did it take for me to win in this particular space? We don't just want to know what went well. So when you're reflecting, what did it take for you to win? What did you do differently that helped you to get that win with that student, to get that win in that conversation with that colleague, to get those wins in time management, health, and boundaries, or to get that win when it called you to be more courageous than comfortable? So yeah, take some time, reflect on that. What wins did I experience this year? What mindset, habits, support, or faith helped me to reach them? What was involved in that process? What did it take? And so, man, thank you for your time, man. I hope this is super helpful. And again, if you missed the questions, go ahead and rewind this thing back and get those down, get those locked in, or pause at each question so you can write it down and lock it in, because, man, this is important. Man, reflect on your wins and own them. You know what I'm saying? Because you deserve to see the great things that you've done, to celebrate those things, and to know that even greater things are possible. Be blessed.